You know that drawer? Or maybe it's just a mess on your desk, just overflowing with power adapters.
Oh, tell me about it.
Feels like we're drowning in chargers. I was looking for the right one. Phone, laptop, headphones. It's endless.
Absolutely. That hunt for the one charger to rule them all, it feels like it never stops. We get new gadgets and boom, another power brick.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into something that claims it can help fix that mess. It's the Amazon Basics 100W 4-port GaN wall charger.
Right, it's listed under cell phones and accessories on Amazon, specifically wall chargers.
And our mission, really, is to see if this thing actually delivers. Can it simplify charging like it promises? We're looking at the specs, but also, crucially, what real users are saying.
Exactly. We've got the official product listing info and then a whole bunch of customer reviews to see how it performs out in the wild.
Okay, let's get into it. What are the key specs we should know right off the bat?
So the full name is pretty descriptive. Amazon Basics 100W 4-port GaN wall charger. It's got two USB-C ports, one that can do 100W on its own, the other 18W, and then two USB-A ports. Those are 12W each. And it supports power delivery, or PD, for laptops, tablets, phones.
4 ports and 100W total. That sounds like it should handle quite a mix of devices, maybe even power-hungry laptops.
That's the idea. And yeah, being Amazon Basics, you kind of expect decent value. Connectivity is just standard USB, 2C, 2A.
And compatibility seems wide. iPhones, MacBooks, Samsung Galaxy, iPads, plus it mentions smartwatches, other laptops. Pretty universal sounding.
That's the goal, yeah, to be your one-stop charging hub. The box just has the user manual, so remember, you need your own cables.
Ah, got my point.
It supports USB Power Delivery 3.0, which is key for that fast charging. It only comes in white, apparently.
Okay.
And it's built for 120 volts input, so if you're traveling internationally, you might need a voltage converter. It just plugs straight into the wall.
Okay, the power delivery part. That's often where these multi-port chargers get tricky. How does it actually split the power?
Right, so if you only use the main USB-C port, the C1, it can deliver the full 100 watts, maxes out at 20 volts, 5 amps. That's plenty for most demanding laptops.
But what happens when you start plugging more things in?
Yeah, that's when it adjusts. If you use all 4 ports at once, the C1 port drops to 65W max. Still pretty good, enough for many laptops.
Okay.
Then the second USB-C, the C2, gets up to 18W. And the two USB-A ports share power, up to 12W each, but with a combined total limit of 17W across both.
So you could charge, say, a laptop at 65W, a tablet at 18W, and maybe 2 phones sharing that 17W from the USB-A ports simultaneously.
Exactly. That simultaneous charging is a big selling point, and it uses GaN technology.
Yes, GaN. What does it actually mean for us?
Well, GaN stands for gallium nitride. It's a different semiconductor material than the usual silicon. Basically, it's more efficient.
More efficient how?
It handles higher voltages better, so you get less wasted energy as heat. This means the charger can be smaller, lighter, and run cooler than a silicon one with the same power output. More power, smaller package.
Smaller and cooler is always good, especially for travel. Speaking of which, how big is it actually? Does it feel portable?
It seems designed for that. Dimensions are roughly 3.17 by 3.15 inches and just over an inch thick, 1.16 inches. Weighs about 9 ounces.
Okay.
And a nice touch, it has a foldable plug that really helps make it easier to pack, less likely to scratch other things in your bag.
Yeah, those foldable plugs are great. What about safety? Always important with chargers.
It has the standard protections you'd hope for. Over voltage, overheating, and short circuit protection. Plus, it comes with the Amazon Basics 1-year limited warranty.
Good, good. And the price, what are we looking at?
The list price is $39.99, and the listing notes over 200 were bought in the past month, so seems pretty popular. Oh, and for international listeners, it mentions free international returns to Egypt specifically, and gives an estimated delivery time.
Right. Okay, so that's the official story. But the real proof is in the pudding, right? What are actual customers saying?
Yeah.
It has a 4.5 out of 5-star average rating from over 7,000 reviews. That's a lot of feedback.
It really is. And the AI summary pulls out some key themes. Big one. It generally works well. People mention using it successfully with things like a 61W MacBook Pro, the new M3 MacBook Air, iPads, iPhones.
Any specific quotes?
Yeah, things like works flawlessly and works great with our new MacBook Air M3. So positive signs on basic function.
That's good to hear. What else stands out?
Value for money comes up a lot. People seem to feel it's a solid alternative to pricier brand name chargers. You know, covers the basics well, makes a very nice setup if you add good cables.
Makes sense. How about the actual power delivery? Does it live up to the specs in practice?
Mostly yes. Power gets good marks. Many users confirmed getting that 65W from the main USB-C port, which is what it promises when multiple ports are used. Some even powered bigger laptops, like an HP Pavilion or a 17-inch LG Gram.
So it can handle some heavier loads.
Yeah.
And the travel aspect.
Yep. Travelability is praised. People like the compact size find it much easier than lugging multiple chargers. You see comments like, great for on the go and portable companion.
Okay, so far mostly positive.
Hmm.
But you said 4.5 stars, not 5. Where are the issues?
Right, it's not perfect. Charging speed seems to be where experiences diverge.
Ah, how so?
Some users get great speeds, mentioning Chromebooks charging faster than with their original adapters, or good speeds with MacBook Air M1 and iPad Pro, but others reported slower charging, or even worse, the charger randomly disconnecting.
Disconnecting. Oof.
Yeah, one person mentioned getting a surprise low battery message because it had just stopped charging without them realizing. That's definitely not ideal.
No, definitely not. What about the physical size? You said it was compact, but any complaints there?
It's another area with mixed views under compactness. Some find it smaller than Apple's bricks, great for travel. Others think it's actually a bit bulky or too wide.
Too wide, like blocking other outlets.
Exactly. That can be an issue on power strips or crowded wall outlets, so you get compact enough to carry easily versus too wide for the case. Depends on perspective and situation, I guess.
And build quality. Amazon Basics can sometimes be hit or miss there.
Yeah, build quality is also mixed. Some say it's reliable, solid, works for months with no problems. Others reported poor quality, saying it failed pretty quickly. So you see encouraging comments like, no problems after several months, but then also warnings about a worrisome lack of quality control. That suggests some inconsistency.
Okay. And lastly, the ports themselves. Any issues reported with the USB connections?
Well, people generally like the mix of USB-C and USB-A. That versatility is a plus. But there were some reports of the USB-C ports failing.
The C ports specifically. Interesting.
Yeah,
Right.
and one person complained about the lack of a standard USB port, which is probably a misunderstanding since USB-A is the standard rectangular port. But still, the reports of C ports dying are worth noting.
Definitely. Okay, let's maybe dig into a few specific reviews. You mentioned one from WireNut, long-term user.
Yeah, WireNut gave it 5 stars back in 2022 and updated it recently, September 2024. They actually think this is the same hardware as a triplet model they use professionally, just cheaper.
Interesting.
They found it reliable for charging MacBooks, iPads, iPhones all at once. Liked that it's UL listed for safety. Noted it's USB PD 2.0, not the newer PPS standard, but felt that wasn't a big deal yet.
Did they offer any advice?
Yes, actually some helpful troubleshooting tips. Check your outlet. Think about the USB-C power negotiation. Use good cables. Consider how charged the device battery already is. They really recommended it, especially given their long-term use.
That long-term perspective is valuable. What about Penny's review from November 2024?
Penny bought it for a Surface Pro, said it worked perfectly, gave enough power where other chargers hadn't, loved the multiple ports for charging everything at once, and the GaN portability.
Also mentioned solid build quality, another positive one.
Okay, and Keith Pierce, using it for gaming. Yeah, Keith confirmed it puts out the 65W needed for an Asus ROG Ally handheld gaming PC. Also worked fine with the Lenovo laptop. Did mention it gets warm under full load, which is pretty normal for high-power chargers.
And they stressed using good cables, too.
Yep, important point. Keith also mentioned their original Ally charger died, so this Amazon Basics one became a reliable replacement. Another 5-star review.
How about Scozo's 4-star review from January this year? A slightly different take.
SCO called it reliable and compact, good performance for laptops and phones due to the 65W and GaN. But, like WireNut, they pointed out the lack of PPS support as a potential downside for newer devices that might use it. So mostly positive, but noting that limitation.
Right, and Andrew from Canada, April 2025. Another 5-star.
Yes, Andrew called it a do-it-all adapter. Highlighted the safety ratings and the triplet manufacturing connection. Again, they actually use it for light gaming on an Asus gaming laptop via USB PD. Said it gets warm, but feels safe. Charges other stuff well, like a Samsung X23 Plus, though noted it only charged at 15W, likely due to lack of PPS. Wished it had PPS, but still recommended it over cheaper options, and like how securely it fit in outlets.
Okay, so weaving all that together, the specs, the AI summary, these individual stories.
Yeah.
What's the final verdict? Do we recommend this thing?
I'd say it leans towards recommended, but with some asterisks. The positives are strong. It works well for most people, offers good value, delivers decent power, and it is genuinely convenient for travel because of the GaN and the folding plug.
That convenience factor is huge.
It really is. For someone wanting to ditch multiple bricks, especially for travel, it looks like a really solid contender.
But those asterisks, the potential downsides.
Right. You have to be aware of the mixed reports on charging speed. It might not be consistently fast for everything, and those disconnection reports are a bit concerning. And the build quality seems variable. Some last ages, others fail early. Port failure, especially USB-C, is another potential issue.
And the need for good cables keeps coming up.
Definitely. You can't skimp on cables if you want the best performance, especially at higher wattages.
So for $39.99, considering the value comments, it sounds like it's probably worth a shot for many people, as long as they know what the potential hiccups might be.
I think that's a fair assessment. The convenience of charging multiple gadgets, including a laptop from one smallish brick, seems to win out for most users, despite the reported issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, buyers should weigh the positive feedback against the chance they might run into those speed or longevity problems.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, the Amazon Basics 100W 4-port GaN charger looks like a capable, convenient solution for consolidating charging needs. Lots of happy customers, good value. But keep an eye out for potential inconsistencies in speed and maybe long-term reliability.
Which leads us to a final thought for you, the listener. As we all collect more and more USB-powered devices, how much do you value that convenience of a single multi-port charger? And maybe, what are your biggest frustrations right now when it comes to keeping everything powered up?
That's a good question to ponder. Think about your own setup, your devices, and whether something like this Amazon Basics charger might solve your specific power adapter pileup.